Shalom, Yasharal. I want to give infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, and Kakadash. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone. A salutation to my fellow laborers in Yahweh Shai, pushing his truth across the four winds in these last days, seconds, and times. I came across this clip. This guy, David Pagman, he has a show where he goes into politics and he brings out a lot of good information. I look at a lot of these guys with the alternative news clips because they always bring out a lot of good information. And so a lot of times you got to take the meat from the bone. And he's interviewing a fucking Sambo coon by the name of Jesse Lee Peterson. He's another YouTube personality that has his show. All right. And this guy, David Lee Peterson, is an Israelite according to the flesh, but his mind is polluted by Western philosophy. He is the epitome of traitor, the epitome of the word coon. And this guy put him on a show, and as you know, Revelation means Salakia, Genesis, the third chapter say the beast was more subtle than, the serpent was more subtle than all the beasts of the field. And you about to see this Edomite run circles around him and make him look stupid. And this guy, Jesse Lee Peterson, is a representation of how Esau deals with our people as a whole. When you see this clip, it's almost like witchcraft or sorcery. All right, this guy is about to embarrass him by asking him simple questions with loaded guns, with a cock-loaded gun. And he's about to just, he knows beforehand that this guy don't know shit. So when you play mind games with a person, that's a form of witchcraft. When you play on a person's mindset, all right, and you take them to where you want to go, you got full control of them, and they not aware of it, that's a form of witchcraft, man. And this guy is about to embarrass this nigga. And it's rightfully so. Rightfully so. He needs to be done. But this, what I saw at the clip is like how Esau deals with our people as a whole. Our people don't read. Our people don't research. All they do is regurgitate information, all right? And the so-called white man's know it, and he makes our people look like fools. And this is what you're about to see in this clip. So I'm about to, without further ado, I'm about to play it. Then I'm going to go to the comment board and show you how Edomites think about dumb niggas like this. All right? Everybody that was in the voting booth, this is how stupid they look when you look at this clip.
Back, sort of an old friend to the show, I guess, although sometimes he throws me off the show. Jesse Lee Peterson is joining us. He is host of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. He's host of The Fallen State, which I visited the studio when I was in Los Angeles. And Jesse, are you a pastor as well? Do I recall that?
All right, now look at this devil. This devil did his homework. His gun is cocked. He's playing high-tech mind games. All right. Every question he asks is cold and calculated. This is how the so-called white man deal with our people, and our people be clueless. All right. This guy knew that Jesse Lee Peterson on his show has a big following. Okay. So he's about to make him look like a damn fool with sarcastic humor. And him doing his homework, knowing that a nigga, like most niggas, don't know shit.
Correctly, are you a Christian pastor?
I am, yes.
You are. And what denomination?
Non-denominational Christian.
Okay, and I remember that your studio in LA, people may find this interesting, is it also some kind of Christian counseling center? Do I remember that correctly, where you counsel young men?
Yeah, but not in the studio. I have my offices upstairs, and so we counsel in-house and by Skype or telephone or by phone, whichever is easy for the folks.
That's fascinating. And so now you're not like a therapist, right? You're not a social worker or a psychologist or anything like that.
No, just a counselor.
Okay, and that's in California, that's an unregulated credential, right? Anybody can use that term.
Well, you have to.
Hey, I hate to keep interjecting. This fucking Edomite is a devil. All right, he's acting like he's serious, but he laughing on the inside. This is how the devil is. This is how these senators, politicians, congressmen, president hopefuls, and presidents, when they talking to you, they laughing at you people. This guy is putting on a show. All right, when you can look at him with your spiritual binoculars, this guy is not serious, and he's just running circles around this guy like these politicians run circles around the goyim, you sheeple. All right. He's just about to, he's acting like he's serious, but he's so full of shit. And this is the devil, all right? We're not ignorant of Satan's devices.
To be a minister or a pastor or something like that, and you can do counseling under the heading of your ministry.
Wow. And that insurance doesn't cover that, right?
It does.
It does. In California, you can go to a counselor who's just a minister, and it's considered a medical visit?
100%. As a matter of fact, it's better that you come to me than the people with the degrees.
Well, that's an opinion. That's an opinion, but I'm concerned with the legal piece.
If you notice, and by the way, we are friends, David. Even though I had to throw you off one day, we still friends. Sometimes I throw my friends off.
Okay, fair.
But it's better that you come to me than a person with a degree, because if you notice, the educated people are dumb. They have no sense.
I've not noticed that.
All right, I will agree with him on that. So-called educated people with degrees, all right, they're not truly educated, enlightened, or enriched. They are indoctrinated, and outside of their place of so-called expertise, all right, they are unknowledgeable in every facet of life. They can't change their tires. A lot of them can't change their oil. They can't fix a plumbing thing in the house. Even if you go in the law, they don't know nothing about the law. If you got a cardiovascular doctor, all right, and all he works on the heart. Outside of that, he doesn't know anything. See, in the nation of Israel, your father was the jack of all trades. Your grandfather was the jack of all trades. We had knowledge and wisdom in everything. So here in America, these so-called educated people are really nitwits. They're not educated. They're not smart. An educated person has a broad horizon, all right? Like if you learn about the king's education in the ancient world, a king was taught about agriculture. He was taught how to handle the sword. He was taught about the cosmoses in the heaven and under the sea, science, what you would call science. He taught about the elements, the periodic table. The king's education was vast. All right, he was taught the law. All right, he was taught biology, anatomy, physiology. All right, so that's how you're supposed to be truly educated in every facet of life. But here in America, you're dumbed down, indoctrinated, and a so-called expert in one part. That's not living, that's not life, and that's not being enlightened, and that's definitely not being educated. All right?
I noticed that.
And they end up giving the people, just before the people run out of money, they give them medication because the therapists, the trained therapists and counselors, psychologists, and psychiatrists have no common sense.
Well, but a lot of the people you just mentioned, can't even prescribe medication. So psychologists don't prescribe, neither do social workers. So what you're saying, you know, it's not true, right?
Well, what I'm saying is that people with degrees are dummies. They have no common sense. They're just repeating what someone told them.
I gotcha. All right. Now I understand, because the first thing you said is literally impossible because they can't prescribe. But
I'm
listen,
glad to hear that.
You're glad to hear that.
See, that's his response. See, that was an intelligent thing that the so-called white man just did. He making it look stupid. He was like a psychologist and a social worker can't prescribe can't describe medicine. And he says it's impossible. All right. And the guy say with his sarcasm, I'm glad you hear that, but you look stupid. You don't know what you're saying. And I didn't know that. I thought a psychologist could, me personally. All right. But hey, you know, that's what the so-called white man does. He has this esoteric knowledge. Now, this isn't esoteric knowledge, what he said. That's just common knowledge. You just got to research. Yeah, I'm going to research that when I get off the phone. All right? I mean, I'm doing my sit down on the phone, you know? But my thing is, most white people are well-read. All right. When you get outside of trailer trash and Joe Sixpack, when you go into the middle class, a middle class so-called white person reads. They read USA Today. They read Almanac, so on and so forth. Our people don't read shit. Our people don't do shit. All right. So they can hold better intellectual stimulating dialogues than our people. Because, all right, our people can't even hold a conversation with a contrary view without getting their panties in the water. All right. Our racial counterparts can do that. All right. And that's part of the curses, though. Because check this dude out. Watch how he make him look like a fool.
Good. And you can't prescribe, you're not prescribing anything, I'm guessing.
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So listen, Jesse, we're on the precipice here of an election. And the reason I wanted to talk to you is to figure out because you're such a master of policy, economics and trade and all of these things. I wanted to.
All right. See, that was a trick of the enemy because he's not a master of it. So he's setting a trap. Jesse was supposed to stop him right there. You see, our people get wooed by the so-called white man, and he sets traps for him. That's him setting a trap for him right there.
Figure out where you are on Trump and policy. So just to begin with, I mean, you approve of the job the president is doing, right?
He's done an amazing job thus far, in spite of the children of the lie.
Yeah.
And the children of the lie, the liberal media, the Democratic Party, the never-Trumpers, the right-o Republicans, the black race hustlers, and the radical homosexuals. They have been against him, and our enemies overseas as well. But in spite of that, he's done an amazing job. So 4 more years of the great white hope. Yeah. And when you talk about the job...
This nigga called Trump the great white hope. He shits on. When you go to his show, all he do is shit on his people, and our people need to be shitted on. But he never has nothing negative to say about these devils, man. This guy is the epitome of a sellout.
That Trump has done, just to pick something to really dig into and make this, I want to take the interview seriously, and, hopefully it won't devolve the way some of the prior interviews have. Let's take economics and taxation, for example. Do you like the Trump tax plan? And if so, what do you like about it?
Well, that's what...
All right, let me stop right there. Now, this is what Edomites do before they go out and vote. That a nigga just don't. All a nigga gonna do is look on the TV and be like, hey, Trump don't like black people. Stupid motherfucker. Like dumb, just idiots. When actually the legislation that Trump passes benefits you more than the legislation Biden is gonna pass. All right. If you go study their politics, all right. You agree with more things that Trump is trying to do than what Biden is trying to do. But you're going to let these Democrats throw this dogma in the air about Trump is racist, and you're just going to take what he was saying, all right? Play the race card. But what white people do, they're thorough. They go study the politics of the person they vote for. And look, he's about to do this with this nigga. And watch how stupid he make him look. But and that goes like for anything. You don't go vote for anything or get involved in anything unless you know the genesis of it, the history of it, all right, and all the criteria surrounding it and everything. Like when it comes to the scriptures, man, we know everything. We study everything. The history about it, the captivities, the language, all right, the timepieces, everything, okay? You don't go vote for somebody and you don't know everything about them and everything what they stand for. That's what you call a fool, and that's why wisdom is a defense, because wisdom teaches us how to deal in this earth.
I like the fact that he is cut back on taxes. He's giving more money to the workers rather than taking it. I like the fact that he has made it easier for small businesses to get going. Even though we have a Chinese virus situation right now, so the economy has stopped a little bit, but it's starting to come back. And due to the tax cuts and regulations,
but let's pick something. Let's pick one thing. What has Trump done to make it easier for businesses to get going?
By cutting back on so many rules and regulations that the Democrat had established.
Like what's an example of such a rule?
I don't have anything in mind right now,
Yeah.
but a lot of the rules and regulations that was preventing small businesses from starting have been taken away by the Great White Hope.
What would be?
But wait, you see, he asked him, give me something specific. And this is what niggers do. This is a prime example of how this devil plays on the mental faculties of our people, man. Look, the guy is holding back his laugh. He's fucking with him. And this dude just looks stupid.
So give me I know that there's dozens and dozens, but what's one such rule that was taken away that now makes...
See, I never want nobody to be able to handle me like that or do me like that. Come with a loaded gun. All right? And prey on your ignorances. But when you come out there being a coon, hey, it serves you right. This guy knows exactly the questions he's answering. He's asking him. If you ask this guy those questions, he's going to be able to answer them thoroughly. All right? So you're at a disadvantage. And that when a nigga's at a disadvantage, he gets emotional and make himself look more and more like a fool.
It's easier to start a business.
Nothing comes to mind right now.
Is there anything that you
So if nothing comes to mind, you should make a statement about taxes and how he's making it, about businesses and how he's making it easy to bring, for people to start small businesses. And when somebody asks you a thorough question on it and you can't break it down with grace, you shouldn't speak on it. All right? That's what you call a fool. All right?
remember even seeing at any time?
Nothing come to mind at this time.
Wow.
No.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
You see, now that's him being sarcastic. He say, wow, that's amazing. Now that's the sarcastic Houston. Sarcastic humor, Salakia. He's being sarcastically humorous with his ass, all right? He said, wow, that's amazing. And then, oh boy, see, I guess he catching on what he's doing. That's amazing. But you're looking stupid. You look like a damn fool. All right. And this is the kind of games the so-called white man plays with our people. Our people are ignorant. They're idiots.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's stick with economics just for a moment. What do you think the top marginal tax rate should be for top earners?
Good question, man. I don't know. I haven't thought about it at this point.
Is it too high or too low currently?
So we know?
I'm sorry?
What did you say? Your phone went off for a minute. What did you say?
I said, do you think the current top marginal tax rate is too high or too low?
I'm not sure at this time, David.
You're not sure. So how do you know that Trump's tax plan is good if you don't even know what tax rates are and how he changed them?
Well, because I have not been focusing on that lately. I have more important things to think about and do.
You see, now you fell into the trap. In the beginning, your statement was that he brought taxes down. He stopped taxing the working man. And see, that's what happens when you're a dumb fucking nigger. All right, and you've tried to synchronize with this devil system. This is not our risk. This is not our system. All right. You shouldn't even be worried about, well, we subject to payments. We got to pay our taxes, but you shouldn't be worried about voting for Caesar or dealing with Caesar's system. All right. All we do is follow the laws that we have to do. All right. Now you look like a damn fool, man. This guy is embarrassing you, man.
That has not been one of my primary focus at this point.
All right, well, let's take a different topic then. Donald Trump made a huge deal during the campaign in 2016 and now.
All right, I'm going to tell you something else, Akim. This white boy had interviews with him. And if you look at his interviews, this guy's interviews, if somebody confounds him, he shuts down the interview. And he normally get people on his interview where he antagonizes them. They just walk out. So this white boy has studied him. So he's not going to try to argue with him. He's not going to try to throw shots at him, out the gate shots, straightforward shots. All right. And he's just going to deal with him intellectually and make him look like an idiot intellectually, toy with him. All right. You never want somebody to be able to play on your mind like that, man. All right.
now about trade with China, trade with Mexico and Canada. Do you believe that Donald Trump has fulfilled his campaign promises on trade, or do you believe he has fallen short?
He has not fallen short, but he has not completed them at this time. That's why we have to, one of the reasons, but not the only, that we have to do 4 more years so he can finalize the trade deals that he is working on.
What would you like to see him do on trade that he's not yet done?
To make sure that America is being treated fairly in trade deals and that we're not giving away or being used as we have been in the past in those ways.
Interesting. So Donald Trump yesterday at his rally said that he fixed China, that now China has to treat us fairly because he fixed it. And he says that he fixed Canada and Mexico with USMCA, so they're now treating us fairly. So who's left that's not treating us fairly on trade?
Did he mention that yesterday? I didn't hear that at all.
It was either yesterday or, maybe, the rallies are blending together. Maybe it was the day before.
Did he say who was left that he had to deal with?
No, I'm asking you. Who do you think is still treating us unfairly?
You need to call the White House spokesperson, and they can answer those questions for you. I have no idea.
All right. Well, then you can't speak in regards to say what this guy's politics is. You can't say how much a good job he's doing if you don't know his politics, if you don't know his stats. All right? That's what make our people ignorant motherfuckers. Okay? Trump, since he's been in office, has been some of the best years for niggers. You know what I'm saying? All right? When the Democrats is in jail, is when Obama was in, what? He turned our people gay, man. Our people just, that lesbian, homosexual spirit came in full course with Obama, man. It was ushered in with that damn devil.
Well, but I guess what I'm trying to understand, Jesse,
I'm not in government, so you're asking me the wrong questions.
Right, but so you asserted that you like a lot of what Trump accomplished on trade,
right,
but believe that. But hold on, Jesse. Hold on, Jesse. No, hold on, Jesse. Hold on.
You're asking about, David. You have to call the White House.
You're going to have plenty of time to answer. Let me just get the question out. You asserted that you like some of what he did on trade, but you want to see him do more. I'm saying, what more should he do?
I have no idea, David.
You don't know.
He knows, so you should call them and ask them. You're asking me the wrong questions.
Oh, that's interesting, because it sounds like you don't really know what's going on.
Not totally, no.
No, okay.
Not in that area, I'm not concerned about that either.
Well, but you mentioned it as something you liked, so it must concern you to some degree.
I like what the president is doing and has done as far as bringing jobs back, as far as some of the trade deals he's done. But for more information, you should contact them.
But you don't think you should be an informed voter? You're wasting your
time. I just told you should contact.
Now you heard what the white boy said? You don't think you should be an informed voter? That's how stupid niggas is. You don't think you should be an informed voter? You see, our people are ignorant, man. And then when you cross them up and ask them certain things, they get emotional. All right? People like that have to go. People like that have to die. When the Most High say he will pour wisdom and knowledge on us, man, we're going to deal correctly even with something simple as a dialogue, man. Okay? Although this dude is being a crafty, subtle devil, he's asking intelligent questions. But he know that you niggas don't study. You don't research. All you do is regurgitate what the mass media puts on TV. But that makes you a fucking fool. All right? That makes you ignorant. You don't know shit. You don't know what's going on around about you. You're a useless eater.
Damn, don't you understand? It's hard to understand?
No, it's actually coming through clearer than ever.
If you want to continue, you need to move on because you're asking the wrong person.
So you're a very strong advocate of the president, and you powerfully say on your program people should vote for him, but you seem unable to articulate what he's actually done.
About those things you just asked, I have no idea. I'm not even concerned.
Okay. How would you tackle climate change, Jesse?
No such thing.
Okay. And elaborate on that.
It's a made-up lie by the liberal Democrats in order to get more money and power and control the people. Climate change is fake.
You know, in some countries,
that's it on
climate
change. That's it on that. Now I'm going to go to the comments. I'm gonna tell you, and this is how these devils look at our people. All right, that's one comment I made. That's me. I put this guy's playing high-tech mind games with Jesse and embarrassing him with sarcastic humor. This is hilarious. Jesse is a damn sellout. All right, but look, let's see what these people say. Jesse Lee Peterson, now these are Edomites, is by far Sacha Baron Cohen's most elaborate and convincing character. All right, I don't know who that is. All right. Educated people are dumb. All right, in parentheses, human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. All right. David, why do you like Trump? Jesse, he helps small business. David says, how? Jesse, I'm not focused on that right now. And me. That's how you look at, all you can do is look at a person like that like they're a fucking idiot, man. That's all you can do. And look what somebody else put. You and everyone who watched this interview. This is how people look at our people when you conduct yourself like this. This is how you look amongst people. I mean, and I gotta say it, people with common fucking sense. You can't speak on nothing if you don't know nothing about it. I can't speak about cardiology if I don't know all of the parts of the heart or the cardiovascular system. And I did know. I used to know. I had to take a test for it. I forgot. You got the left atrium. I'm not about to get into that. But hey, when I did know, I at least could hold a dialogue on about every part, because when I was in undergrad, I had to learn it. So I could at least hold an intellectual dialogue about the heart because I knew every part of the heart. All right, you got the right atrium, the left atrium, and I knew the other parts. But if you don't know shit about the heart and you want to be an expert on the heart, and even though I knew the parts of the heart, all right, I still couldn't get in a deep dialogue about it like with a professor or a cardiologist, all right? Because when they ask you certain questions, you can't answer, and you look stupid, so you can't speak on certain topics as an authority. All right. In fairness, Jesse Lee Peterson is a minister who's concerned with your soul, and David Pagman likes to use economics as a wild card. I've heard him ask people about being physical conservatives, understanding economics while you run off the meal passengers want to save you. All right. Very good point. I'm a JLP fan, Jesse Lee Peterson fan, but I don't listen to his political views. All right? That's right. Because he don't know anything. He don't know shit. All right? But you know why he look at him? All right? Because he's a coon. He like the way he shit on black people. So Webb is a nigger, is a Edomite that hates niggers. He loves to see Jesse get on niggas and treat niggas like shit on his show. All right? So this is probably a Ku Klux Klanman, all right, saying, good job, boy. Because when you go to Jesse Lee Peterson's show, that's all he does. All right? Let me go back to some more of these comments. He says, like David is talking to a child. This is how they look at our people, man. This is how the nations view us, man, like fools. This is like reality TV casting a show full of crazy people to boost ratings. This was really gratifying. I love that David was able to show that was able to get JLP to admit that he doesn't know what he's talking about. All right. And our people be in the same light as JLP. If you ask our people why they voted for Trump or any of the people they voted for, 98% of them don't know shit. You got some Negroes that go do their homework. 98% of, I would say 99.9% of our people voted for Barack Obama only because he was black. That's it. They know nothing about his politics, don't know nothing about his history, don't know nothing. The only reason they voted for him was because he was a black, all right? And that's what you call a fool, all right? So I'm about to get into the scriptures. Let me go, I'm going to start here in 2 Maccabees 4:13. Now, such was the height of Greek fashions, an increase of heathenish manners. Our people are Greeks. Their minds are polluted, all right? Our people are taken up with the so-called white man's philosophies, all right? So when our That's why when they're destroyed, they're going to be destroyed for having the mind of a Edomite. Because when you read 1 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter, it says that we have the mind of Yahushua. All right? So those that have the mind of Yahushua are going to get delivered, and those that have the mind of the heathen are going to be destroyed. All right? If you think like this guy and you do the things this guy do, you're a fucking Greek Edomite mentally, man. Through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, that ungodly rich and no high priest. The Most High look at you as an ungodly rich when you subscribe to Western philosophy, when you go vote, when you do the thing, when you go to shrinks. You got a problem with your child, you go to shrinks and let the doctor give them that medical poison. All right? When you go to these indoctrination camps that they call schools, and you subscribe to everything that they teach you. All right, you believe their history, you believe their philosophies. All right, you're ungodly rich in the eyes of the Most High. All right, that the priest had no courage to serve anymore at the altar, but despising the temple. But when somebody come give you the truth, you despise it, you reject it. Okay, and neglecting the sacrifices, hasten to be partakers of the unlawful alliance in the place of exercise at the game of discus, call them forth. You see, and I'm bringing this scripture out because this is what happened to our people when they were Hellenized. This was the genesis of them being Hellenized during the time of the Greeks. All right, this is a main reason our people think the way they think. All right, because the so-called white man, he conquered us, then he oppressed us, and then he defiled us mentally, okay? Not setting by the honors of their fathers. Our people don't want to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of Moses, all right? That Yahweh Shemawashah gave Moses to give the nation of Israel, all right? That beautiful government system. Our people don't want that. They want the way of the heathen. By liking the glory of the Grecians based of all. See, they like going to vote every 4 years. Women like going to dealing with different men. Men love homosexuality here, lesbianism. They love dealing with other men and women and don't have to worry about the penalty of the law getting put to death. Women love to have gender equality with a man when the Most High in his word condemns it. Okay? They love the way of the heathen. And this goes back to the garden when this devil gave him the same devil. All right, that same spirit that was dwelling in that serpent, all right, gave Eve that apple. These are these philosophies right here, okay? By reason whereof sore calamity came upon them, as sore calamity is about to come upon our people in these coming days. For they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose custom they follow so earnestly, and to whom they desire to be like in all things. All right, our people want to be like the so-called white man. All right, our people don't want to be like the prophets that's teaching them wisdom and knowledge. All right, we've become their enemies because we tell them the truth. All right. For it is not a light thing to do wickedly against the laws of Yahweh. All right? And they're going to get judged for it because that ain't no small matter when you reject the prophets and submit to this so-called white man's philosophies. But the time following shall declare these things. And we're in the time following. We're in the time where we're going to see these judgments come down on Jesse Lee Peterson and everybody that has that mindset to follow this system and submit to this system. When this system says go get that vaccine and go get the chip, our people going to do it. Jesse Lee Peterson, he going to go get one in his forehead, okay? Salakia. All right, let me get Book of Proverbs. It's another good one. Proverbs 3:31, and it reads, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. We don't do things by diplomacy, all right? A democracy, the government system that was given to the nation of Israel wasn't a democracy, all right? We have a monolithic king, man, all right? Our king tells us what to do, all right? Our king rules over us and tell us how the do's and don'ts, how we should live and how we should not, all right? We shouldn't be going to vote for an emperor to rule over us, an abominable emperor at that. that this emperor's teachings and philosophies is contrast to our great king. All right, because this is what Psalms 2:8 says. All right, it reads Psalms 2 verse 8. Ask of me, and I should give the heathen for thine inheritance. We supposed to be one of these so-called white people in slavery, chains and feathers. All right, we want to inherit them and rule over them. That's what we should want. Not be voting for them so they can kingdom can prosper. That nigga was calling Donald Trump the great white hope. Man, what can you do with a nigga like that, man? Wow. And the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession, that thou shalt break them with the rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them into pieces like a potter's vessel. Man, you should be wanting to blues and put them in slavery and break their bones. Be wise now, therefore, you kings. Be instructed, you judges of the earth. Serve Yahweh with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry. We got to kiss our king's signet, all right? You do that by conforming to his word. And you perish by the way. Our people are going to perish by the way because they're not keeping the word of our great king, our monolithic king, man. The King of Kings, Lords of Lords, who, according to Isaiah, the 9th chapter, is going to bring a government on his shoulders and enforce it on the planet Earth, man. Okay? This is the book of Micah 2 verse 2, and it reads, no, that's Habakkuk. Salakia. This is the book of Micah 2 verse 2, and it reads, might be 10, Salakia. All right? This is Micah 2 verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sword of destruction. Okay? And that's what you're looking at. That was a man with a sword of destruction, meaning not a polluted mind, Salakia. When you go in the voting booth, that's a person with a polluted mind, all right? You have no understanding. You don't know, you can't differentiate between right and wrong, okay? Wisdom teaches that. Wisdom is our God. It shows us how to move in society, what to do and what not to do, all right? So with that, Lord willing to sit down and edifying to the ears, I want to give infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, and Kakadash, double honors to our teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to my fellow laborers in Yahweh Shai, Kwan, Yasharala, Abba, Abba.